Welcome back to Shining From Within, the podcast that explores the infinite amount of power and potential that lies within each and every one of us. I am your host with the most, Genevieve, and welcome back to part 3 of the thresholds, the human thresholds. And in this episode, we're going to tackle the threshold of truth.
Welcome back, viewers. Martin again. Today we're going to talk about truth. What is truth? Pilate asked Jesus. I do not remember the answer quite alright, but I might ask you, what is truth? This question matters because of late in our cultural dispensation, there has been a lot of talk of relativism, moral relativism, in that my truth is not your truth. But is that true in a greater sense? A culture that has various truths, individuals walking about to say my truth is this, my truth is that, does bring a paradoxical way of living, and such a culture might not be sustained. Let me give this example. We have social welfare around the world, social services, and for them their truth is that you need to keep a child out of harm's way, you need to feed the child has to be in good condition. But if my truth says I can treat my child in whatever way I want and no one should interfere, then what use is this social services to society? It will be closed down. So you find that truth at the broader level is not that complicated, but it is also very complicated. Okay. Yes. We argue for universal truth. Truth has been something that has perplexed man and also benefited man in a greater sense. We talk about human rights. The truth of, it is your God-given right to do ABCD, perhaps. But truth also in other sense is widely complex. Let's talk about truth in a relationship. In a relationship, it's expected that we're faithful to one another. It's true. Because why enter that bond if you're not going to be? But other people enter such a bond with different perspective to say, well, you can just be one of them, one of the people I'm seeing. So truth is quite complex, but yet we see that people actually run away from truth. Truth seems to have this effect on people that is unpleasant. To the point of people love to make delusions, fantasies in their minds that are not true. Obviously, I will have to give examples going forward. But you hear quotes like, the truth hurts. That's a common one. The truth hurts. And one I have seen in recent years and has really resonated with me is, the speaker of the truth has no friends. Yes, and truly, when someone speaks truth, you find that people tend to avoid such a person because perhaps it is true, the truth hurts. Truth does have a nature again in itself. It is said that truth does not need to be defended. The truth will defend itself. Yes, one way or another, the truth comes out. It has this nature in itself. I wouldn't say intrinsic nature, but other people might say, well, are you saying the truth is a living thing? And I would say, well, think about it. Obviously, psychologists argue that we're just lumps of matter on this surface, but where does love come from? How do you measure that? Where does shame come from? How do you measure that? Where does thought come from? How do you quantify that? How do you put that in a scale? This shows that apart from this physicality, there's actually more at play, more than our physical matter. They could be realms, unseen realms, realms we do not have names for. Yes, imagine, and I believe it is a truth that people who have faith in daily life tend to progress positively than people who do not. It's just like optimism, pessimism. Optimists tend to thrive more than pessimists do. You see, it's just an attitude of mind, but given that everyone has that, they tend to thrive one way, others upwards, the others downwards. There should be a truth somewhere. There should be some universality to truth, I suspect. Don't get me wrong. Certain truths are so difficult that we fail to express them because we might think someone might believe I'm crazy. I'll give you this example. There was something I used to experience years ago, sometimes I still do, whereby you want to do something, you know you have to do something, but I always felt like this resistance, something was pulling me down. And for me, in my mind, this thing had a nature, had a form, but I couldn't tell you what form it was. But I knew there was something that was holding me back. And then I read this book. I do not remember the book, but I believe it was after how to steal like an artist. There should be a book. If all things being equal, that should be the book. This guy started saying things that I knew to be true in my mind, but I never expressed that to anyone because I thought people would think I'm crazy. But this author started bringing out things that, wait, wow,
how would he know?
You also experienced that? That's very strange, The thing about truth, I suspect that the truth, I suspect, and I think that is generally why we are here, that is, I think it's something that we can't all run away from, is that truth brings us to a place of humility if you're willing to accept it.
Sure.
Yeah, there's always something that you don't know about what you know or what you believe you know. There's always something higher.
That's deep.
Yes, it's true. You find that someone may be more enlightened than you, but it's over a topic that you know. But this person just knows so much more than you do.
Okay.
And this is where now you have to, for you to gain more truth, it requires a certain sense of humility, because sometimes gaining more truth might put you in a position where you look stupid, you look ignorant. It's a messed up situation sometimes. Truth also requires change, which change, as I've said before, is usually painful. So you find that humbling oneself to the truth is very, very hard. I'll give you this example of someone who I strive to emulate, but it's also very difficult for me. There's this man called David Goggins. He goes to the mirror and starts talking to himself, and he goes deep. He doesn't hide anything, If he lied to a person, he'll be like, you lied to that person. You have to go back and tell them the truth. And he would do that. That's painful. He would talk to himself to say, you're not doing enough. You're not studying enough. This is not where you can be. You have to do more. And he